Hello family, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy E, the Dividend Passport Bro, back with another video. Guys, today is our Sunday Edwin Talk video, and we're gonna look at a few things that I want to share with you guys today as far as my portfolio is concerned and what I'm doing, right? Or what I've done in the past few months, right? To have income coming in pretty much every day into this portfolio. Okay, so with that said, guys, remember this is not financial advice. I'm just a 52-year-old man that makes video about my portfolio and my portfolio alone. So do not take this as financial advice. This is just a guide to encourage you to invest in your financial future, okay, and create generational wealth. Okay, guys. So with that said, let's jump to our first extreme high yield. I'll call this a mid yield. It's not even an extreme high yield. Okay, so this is a curve, right? You can pronounce it how you want to pronounce it, but I call it curve. And they just added, right, a new position to the portfolio, right? And this pays on monthly. Okay, this pays monthly. It's kind of like yield max if you have a yield max position. And what I like about these guys, right? They pay on Thursdays. So yield max pay on Friday. These guys pay on Thursday. So every Thursday, right? I'm getting dividend from either one or two of these positions, right? I know they added a new one, and excuse me. They added a new one that's not a lot of information on it yet. Of course, it's going to be monthly like the rest of them. I mean, and one good thing about these guys, right? You don't have to worry, well, from what I've seen so far, you don't have to worry about NAV erosion, okay? So, I mean, it's a pretty good product. And like I said, I have all of them in my portfolio, and and it's been working for me so far. Okay, so I mean, you can do what you want, that's your business. I'm just showing you, right, what other options are out there. Okay, so let's take a look at the distribution schedule real quick. So I mean, it's pretty simple, right? So they got the ticker symbols here, and pretty much the exposure is pretty much based on these companies here. And then KQQQ is just pretty much on the top tech company. I think that would be like the 7 or whatever they call them. But I mean, pretty much this is what they have right now. Like I said, they just added a new one. So whenever, they pay out dividend, that's going to change. So pretty much Netflix and KQQQ pay on the 4th week. Okay, and then Tesla pay on week 1, Amazon pay on week 2, Microsoft pay on week 2, Apple and Google pay on week 3. So that this is how they have it, and then pretty much the distribution is kind of like this from January up until I guess they do it by quarter. So this will be Q1, and then Q2. This is how it is, and right now we are in Q3. So they pay on Thursday. So every Thursday. So you can see this coming, the 27, so the 28, right? So we're gonna get the 28. We're gonna get paid from this position here. Is that on the Thursday? That's August. No, that's way far August. I'm looking way far August. All right, so we just got paid right here, and then we get paid here on the 7th, right? So next week is, why does it look like they're missing a payment? So we got paid on the 24th, right? That was Thursday, and we're supposed to get paid on the 30th, but I don't see that in here. So I mean, there might be a a typo or something. Okay, but we'll see when the distribution comes. Okay, I just want to share that with you guys. Something for you to look into. It's your choice how you spend your money, how you invest your money, but there are other options out there. And these guys been working good for me so far. Like I said, I don't have a lot of money in there. I got a couple of shares in each one of them, and just building them up to where we're going to be collecting that mad dividend distribution. Okay, so this coming week, MSTY is paying with other companies, with other positions, right? So this is week. Let me move this up a little bit. Let me move this to this side. So AIYY, AMZ, Aptly, that's the TISO, Misty, MSCY, WNTR, AZ, XYZY, and then YQQQ. So I don't have all of these, right? I have AIYY, which at some point I'm going to get rid of. I keep saying that. I have Misty, I have SMCY, and XYZY. So of course, I have 4 of the Group D positions, and at some point I am trying to bring them down to a smaller number. Maybe end up with 2. Last week we got paid from CVNY, we got paid from HOY, and we got paid from Connie, CONY. Okay, so I got 3 there, and for now I have 3. But with HOY, I'm just collecting dividend, and and then selling out and waiting for the next dividend, and then buy, and then hope it recover, and then So at some point, I might just keep 1 or 2 positions in here, and just collect the dividend from whatever else comes through, and then sell out of it, and put that money into something for the next week. Of course, it's kind of more riskier if it doesn't recover, but I'm a risk taker, so we do what we do to keep things moving. Okay, like I said, this is not financial advice. I'm just showing you what out there to invest in. I do invest in some of these positions. Like this week, I got for Group B. I know I'm going backwards. I got POTY, NVIDIA. I got MARO. And I think I got DIPS. So I got these 4. So at some point, like I said, I want to consolidate and drop them down to 3. This week for Group A, I have SNOY and Tesla. That's the 2 I have. And I think I might have FEAT also. I think those are the 3 I have. I used to have Crush, but I sold out of it once I got my money back. When I made my money back, so I didn't lose any money. I used to have YMAG. I got out of that. I only have Alti and LFGY. I used to have YMAX also. I sold out of that. So right now I only have, for the weeklies, right, I only have these 2, LFGY and Alti. I think I collect about $1,000 right now. For the past few weeks, we've been collecting about $1,000 a week from Alti. But I still have a lot of stuff to do to recoup my money. So I'm gonna show you guys this in a minute. All right, so at some point, right? You see these 2 accounts. At some point, right? This is contributions. At some point, this charge swap is gonna be in my cash management account. Cash management account, I love this account. It's like a regular checking savings account, but the great thing about it, you can buy dividend positions and invest in dividend positions. Now, this account was opened in June of this year, and of course, this is just historical information from what I would have made based on how much money I have in the portfolio at the time. So of course, that's just equivalent. I think for this week, would have made like $1 something. So this is all estimated, guys. So of course, this all number is estimated. The month is over, and I have to go back because I just added this to the tracker. So I would have to go back and look at all of the dividends, and see. But I don't even, you guys know I don't like to do all that work. But for now, this is it. And this tracker usually have things higher than it would normally be. So that's why I use multiple trackers, and to track my dividends. Okay. So at some point, like I said, this account will be in here. And the goal for this account, right, eventually, right now I have this account as my car, to pick up my car payments and stuff. So as you can see, I mean, it generates more than enough money to pay for my car. Of course, we need to increase that to where it's paying my insurance also. So about $1,200. I think it's under $1,200 because the car payment is about seven something. Insurance is like $100 something. So $1,000 a month would be more than enough, of course, to take care of the car payment. But of course, you guys know the goal is to have more coming in, and I'm not using the money right now. So I'm using the money from my Fidelity dividend portfolio to pay those things, right? So that's how, for my job also, I do spend my income from my job. At some point, my income from my job will be going into this account, so where I'll be paying everything out of this account. So my income from my job will go to this account, and then everything else will get paid out of this account. And this account don't have margins on it, right? So there's no margins on this account. I don't plan on adding margins to this account. Everything is my actual funds. And of course, the goal at some point, right? These two accounts will be one, right? And the goal at some point will be to generate, at least enough money to pay all of my bills, all of my debts for the month. And my Fidelity account, this one here, right, that bring in most of the income, because of course, for you guys who are new here, I transfer my initial Robinhood account to my Fidelity account, and my initial ChargeSwap account to my Fidelity account, to get rid of excuse me, to get rid of margin calls. Excuse me, guys. To get rid of margin calls, so I'm not having margin issues. Now, in layman terms, margin call is if you borrow money to buy investments and the cost drop below what you pay for the investment and what you borrow, you get a call, right? So you have to put back the money that you borrow because the actual positions you have drop below what you pay for it. So the bank want their money back. So that's basically what a margin call is. Okay, you can Google it, look it up. I'm just giving you a layman basic term. So for now, as you can see, on average, you guys know this. I just did our calculation weekly portfolio yesterday, and we generated about 38,000. Now, of course, you guys know I don't go back and calculate and see what stuff coming late. I don't do that. I don't have the time. So I'm too lazy to do that. I don't do that. So right now, we ended the month, because the next payment is going to be next month, so we can calculate it into this month. It would have been great, but we ended the month with $38,000 this month in income. That has crossed all of my three portfolio. Now I add this cash management portfolio in there. But as you can see, some months we make more money, and some months we make less money. But right now the average is about $30-something thousand a month, which is amazing for something that I do passively, right? It's passive. I don't have to, I check it 15 minutes 3 times a day, sometimes more depending on what I got going on. Coming with different strategies, how to increase the income every month, and and keep my output down. So this is just the estimate for the next 12 months right now, based on, because we're going to get paid 5 payments in August. So I'm expecting we might be above $50,000 in income for August. Now this is just me looking at what we did this month, and the fact that we're getting 5 checks next month from my dividend positions. I'm thinking we're going to be probably somewhere close to 50,000-60,000. It might be the first time we hit $60,000 in income. And you guys know $60,000 is the goal that I set for this year. I know we cannot do it consistently, but with the new strategy that I'm adding to my portfolio, I mean, we might be pushing over. I mean, for now it's a little bit more riskier, but as I build it up and add income to the portfolio and bring down my debts, it's gonna be even more amazing. Okay, guys, I'm showing you guys the back end of the monthly stuff, so you can see what's coming into the portfolio on the calendar and stuff like that. And you can go down and you can see pretty much, right? This is my Fidelity portfolio. You can see how each week, right, money is coming into the portfolio. So this right now is just based on, it's just estimated, right, based on what, how do I say, this is based on how much money that we, this is July, let's go to August, August, okay, so this is August, let me see, see, so they're looking at like this month here, right? They're looking at we're gonna get another 6,500 from HOOY, so that's another 6,800. But I mean, that can change. If the dividend drop, that's gonna change the amount of money that coming into the portfolio. So I mean, it's it can be like, it can be crazy sometimes, right? But this is basically how it is, how income coming to my portfolio from the back end. Okay, and then we look at Robinhood. Now this portfolio only have like what, a couple $1,000s in it, right? And right now we're averaging about $100 a month. I mean, it's not a lot, but it's, for me, for a $2,000 portfolio that's generating this amount of money, is amazing. Okay, guys, and like I said, I use multiple trackers, and we're gonna go to the other tracker in a minute. Of course, the numbers are gonna look a lot different, but I mean, for a small portfolio, and you can see again, there's pretty much income. It's not a lot, but it's income coming into the portfolio almost every single day. I mean, we got ex-dividend day, got earnings report coming out. I mean, just kind of give you what's going on with the different things that I invest in. So there's always something every day that is going on with the portfolio, and then ex-dividend day, just little money coming into the portfolio. It's not a lot of money, but over time, right, it adds up. Over time, it adds up. Now, as you can see, let me go back to the total thing here. Right now, my hourly salary from my portfolio is almost $80 an hour. Now this is the part that I love, right? $79.75. So 25 cents more, I'll be making $80 an hour. Okay. Now, this is today, right now, I'm making this video. When I'm sleeping, right? When I'm at dinner, when I take my daughter to the movies, whatever I'm doing, my portfolio is generating me income. It's like making money while you sleep, right? I go to work and work my regular job, and my portfolio is still making me money. Okay. Now, on a daily basis, this portfolio right now is generating almost $2,000 a day. $2,000 a day. Okay. $2,000 a day, $13,400 a week, and right now we have $58,000 a month. Of course, this is estimated. Okay, we just did the income thing, and we saw that because the income, it's just doing this based on whatever the last income that came in. It does a calculation based on that. So it's predicting that next month it will pay the same amount. So of course, we're paying the same amount. The portfolio, there's more money into the portfolio, okay? And, right, as you can see, this portfolio have, right, this is what my actual portfolio is, right? 7,300. I mean 7,300. 733,605.22. So if you add that plus, right, 146,205.35. So right now, right? So if you this is the amount, my balance of my portfolio, and this is how much my portfolio is down. So my portfolio is down a big percentage, 16%. Okay, my portfolio is down 16%, and the goal is probably to knock off a few percentage next week and bring more cash back into the portfolio. But if you add these two amounts together, right, that's $879,000. So my portfolio is close to being value at $1 million. Now I'm talking about all of my portfolio that you see here combined. And this having to do with my Roth. I don't put my Roth in here because I can't pull money out of there until I'm 59 to have without penalty. So I don't put money. I don't put that in there. I don't put in my retirement with my job, 401k. I don't put that in there because all I'm concerned about right now that I show you guys is money that you can live off now. It's not money where you say, oh, I gotta wait. I'm 52. Okay, so I gotta wait 7.5 years. In my case, 7 years. They already half of the month, half of the year already gone. So I gotta wait 7 years before I can retire off my Roth and my 401k. I mean my Roth. I don't even know when I can pull my 401k. I think it's 62. I don't have no idea. I need to look into that. But the thing is, I don't pay attention to that. I don't care. I don't look at it. It doesn't matter to me. Okay, because what I'm focusing on now is what I can live off now. And of course, the fact that I have margins in this account, it pushes me even more to have my other accounts. So just in case, at least I will have certain things to take care of certain things that I don't lose, right? So getting my cash management account to where it can cover my mortgage every month, to where it can cover, right now we got the car cover. The next thing is to add the insurance and then add light, water, gas to that bill. And like I said, so at some point I will start putting all my entire salary into that account and paying everything out of that account, because I don't add money to my investment account no more. I don't. Any money that comes into my investment account is from the distributions that come into my account. So I'm not physically taking money from my paycheck and investing it. I haven't done that. I don't know when I've done that last time. I can't remember that. Okay. So if you hear me say I got money coming from somewhere, that probably money I loaned to somebody, and they pay me back, and I put that money back into my portfolio. And the one thing I didn't do when I borrowed people money back then, I didn't charge them interest. But come to think about it, I got margins on my portfolio, so I pay when I pull money out to borrow to somebody, right? Which I'm not going to do anymore, right? I mean, I'm not going to borrow money, but if I loan money out, loan money out to somebody, of course I got to add that interest plus some. So when they pay me my money back, I can put that money back and cover the interest. Okay? Because a lot of times people ask you for stuff like I don't really keep cash on me. I don't. I'm not one of those guys who keep cash. I don't really do that. I think most of when I'm out of the country, I would have cash. But even then, sometimes I don't, because there's a lot of different systems you can pay without cash. A lot of places you go and not using the credit card, but they got the systems that they use. Okay, so as you can see, my portfolio is almost at $1 million, right? I mean, it's down, of course, but it's almost at $1 million. Now, this number is going to fluctuate with the next 6 months because of what the strategy that I'm adding to the portfolio to kind of bring that that negative number down and increase the income. In the short term, is more risk involved, but in the long term, if everything works out, it's more rewards, right? So that's all I can say. Okay, guys. So as you guys can see, right, I have 100 and something positions across all of these portfolios, and I invest a lot in not just the extreme high yield stuff. Okay, I invest a lot in stuff that pay less dividend. So we look at my dividend tracker, right? Some of the stuff, of course, I'm selling out. Um, I'm selling some of these stuff out, right, to invest in stuff that paying more than my interest in my bank account. Okay. Um, but then at some of these positions, of course, they've been around for a minute and they pay good dividend and it's not bad. So we keep them. Okay. And like I said, some of these are almost at 3%, so I keep some of them, and some of them I'm going to get rid of. But I have a lot of positions, so people can say, "Oh, Edwin, all you investing is the high yield, the extreme high yield stuff." No, guys, you see this stuff, a lot of 5-6%. That's go a lot of ways before you even start seeing stuff going up in higher, as far as the yield is, right? So we go a long way before we even hit. We at 20%, and look here. For the time we hit 20%, right? Which is these neos and stuff like that. We've got some divine stuff in here. I put XPay. I put money in a lot of different things because, like I said, I'm still testing stuff. A lot of this stuff is new. If it doesn't work, I sell out of it, right? And put the money back into stuff that I know it might pay less, but it's going to continue to pay me, right? And I have a lot of these positions that are lower yield. Of course, the goal is to get these guys to like $1,000 a month or $1,200 a year. That's it. $1,200 a year is the target. So once I get some of these things to $1,200 a year, let me move my ugly mug out of the way. Don't hate, appreciate. As you can see, I still have stuff in here that is paying me, especially with my new portfolio. A lot of these things you see in here that pay me less, some of them are in my newer portfolio, or some of them I just add to the portfolio that I used to have that I sold before doing, had issues with tariff in my account. So of course, now that the account is getting back to normal, I'm adding some of these positions back. So if you see stuff like paying 1 cent, 2 cents, 5 cents, a lot of these is in my newer positions that I re-added back to the portfolio that I sold out doing tariff to save my portfolio. And then you can see it's still work in progress, right? But the income is going up little by little. And I'm not doing all of them at the same time. I target 1 or 2 of them, grow them to $100 a month or $300 a quarter, and then I get to the next position. So it's work in progress, right? Like I tell you guys, I take the money from the extreme high yield and put it into my lower yield positions. I have stocks in here. I have ETFs. So I invest in a bunch of different things. The way I diversify my portfolio is different from a lot of people, right? But this is how I learned it in the beginning, and this is how I do it. This is not how I teach it, but this is how I do it. So it's up to people to choose what strategy works for you, how you feel comfortable. That's why I don't tell everybody, oh, invest in high yield, invest in high yield. No, I didn't start off investing in high yield. This is not how I started. I started off investing in VOO, VYM, SHD. I still have SHD, right? And some of those VOO, VYMs, they're in my growth portfolio. You guys don't see them because I don't talk about it, but they're in my growth portfolio. They pay very little dividend, but they grow. So they're in my growth portfolio. Okay, so I have a lot of positions that you won't see here, but they're in my growth portfolio, right? So you see you got JEPQ at $1,200, USA, right, at $1,400. So, and then the rest of the stuff is all extreme high yield, which is not a lot, right? The yield max positions, a lot of these is extreme high yield stuff. But once we get to that number, now I'm working on JEPI, trying to get JEPI to that $1,200 mark. And once we get there, of course, we start to focus on other things, okay? We start to focus on other positions and collect the dividend. So we're not far away. We're not far off, okay? We're not far off. And I don't just say, oh, well, you know what? I'm going to invest in, in Jeppy. No, I put money in all these other positions to bring up the income. And how I do it just based on, like, if I got 10,000 in this one, I need to put 10,000 there, 10,000 there, 10,000 there, and then we go back and see, okay, are we, are we where we need to be as far as the income that's coming into the portfolio? If the answer is no, then I add a little bit more money, and work my way. And then once I get to that $10,000, if we close to the dividend to where we need to be, okay, I can let it go for a few months and work on something else, and then go back and add money to get that dividend up, because some of these dividends go up and down and fluctuate. Okay, guys. So this is my strategy. I mean, in a nutshell, right? I think I've never really talked about it like this before, but I've given you guys a lot of information, and we know this is not accurate because, of course, we already did the calculation for the month, and we generated more than $38,000 because, and guess what? We still gonna have dividend coming in from now till the end of the month, from now to the end of the month, right before the month end, and they're gonna be counted into next month, into the first of. They're gonna be calculated into the other month, right? But they're coming in for this month, so go figure. But we generated more money than that. So right now, on average, we're about $50,000 across the board. Like I said, I'm thinking, everything being the same, everything works according to plan, I should be able to generate over $50,000. I think we should be somewhere in the range of 60K. Now, of course, the tracker might not show it because I'm going to be buying and selling stuff. Of course, so when I buy and sell, even though the distribution come in, a lot of times it's still calculating based on what is going on with the distributions. Okay, so but that's why I do the calculation for you non-believers who don't believe that with a portfolio less than $1 million can be generating over $30,000 a month. But we do it. Okay, guys. So now the future value, which is, I think, one of the favorite part of mine. This motivates me. If it doesn't motivate anybody, this motivates me more than anything else, to get to where I need to be, right? And once I retire, whenever that is, I might not retire in 10 years. I might still be working. Like I told my boss, I think I told you guys this before. I'm like, look, I'm not looking for another job. I get calls all the time. I get calls all the time. I work as a senior director for cybersecurity for many years, and I got burned out. So I love my position, what I'm in now. It pays me good, okay, and I don't have no stress. When I leave work, except I get an email or something that pop up with something, infection or something going on in the environment, I don't move a muscle, okay? And this is what I love. Right? I don't have to talk to senior management. My boss does that. We have our conversation once a week for 30 minutes and we're done. And the rest of the week I'm doing my work. And I love that. I don't have to bother with nobody except the messing up. And I'm continuing to grow my portfolio because my income from my job takes care of my cost of living. And I'm using the money from my portfolio to pay down my debts. Guys, you hear what I'm just saying? I'm using the money from my portfolio to pay down debts. So, like I was saying, if I stop paying down, trying to pay stuff off, and just reinvest the money like I've been doing, I will hit that 60K mark before the end of the year, and I still might hit 60K before the end of the year, but it might not be the way you guys think. It might not show up in the tracker that I'm making 60K a year. But it's going to show up in the income when I do the weekly income review videos. You guys will see the difference in the income compared to what's showing up in the tracker because the new strategy that I'm adding to my portfolio. Okay. 10 years, 9.5 million. That is amazing numbers. Guys, it's not timing the market, right? Time the market, not timing the market. But it's the amount of it's time in the market. So how long you're in the market the more money you have. Take this right here, right? The same everything set up, but in 5 years, I get 2 million. But if we flip this to 10 years, everything being the same, I get almost 10 million. That's a big difference, okay? That's $7 million difference, $7.2 million difference. That's a big freaking difference for an additional 5 years, okay? So if you are younger, you in your 20s, and you want to work for another 30 years, guys, another 10 years, okay, we got freaking $30 million in 15 years. That's a big $30.6 million in the next 15 years. So the longer you invest, guys, I tell you all the time, get your core positions to be dividend kings, dividend aristocrats, a company that's been paying dividend for a good period of time and consistent. Okay, they don't have to be those 2-3% yield. It can be 7, 8, 9, 10% yield. But if they've been consistent, paying those dividends for a long period of time, put them in your portfolio and make those your core positions. And then use the extreme high yield to finance the positions to get to where you need to be. Okay, like I tell you all the time, I can live in Colombia on $1,000 a month. Okay, and that's with me, my daughter, her mom, and her other kids. Okay, 6 people living in the house, $1,000 a month. And that $1,000 a month is not just for food. That's for light, water, gas, utilities, food, transportation, servicing my car, getting people to come and service the air conditioning stuff. Now, when I purchase the new property that I'm buying end of next month, that amount of money is going to drop, because now I don't have to pay for an apartment every month, right? I'm in my own spot. So that extra $300-something I was spending, $350, $360 a month to rent somebody's place, I will have my own place, my own peace of mind. I don't have to check in and check out with anybody. I can, if I decide I want to go spend 2 months in Europe, I go spend 2 months in Europe. The cleaning people come clean once a week when we're not there. They come once a week and clean to make sure there's no mold, and open the place, let it freshen up, mop the floors, get the dust out. That don't cost no money. $100, $200 a month. If I have my house clean here, I'll be paying maybe like $500-$600 for one cleaning. But you know, the cost is different. So you can live a better life. And that, I'm not promoting you guys to move outside the country, or whatever you have is fine, that's your business. But I'm just telling you, things are different when you live overseas. What? $30 million? What do I do with $30 million? I almost cursed. My old self. Okay? I got a young woman, 31 years old, soon to be 32, a 2.5-year-old daughter, and one more on the way. Guys, I'm living my best life. So if you don't want to get to where, if you're young and you don't see this as something that can get you to the next level, that's on you. That's on you. Before I start adding these extreme high yield to my portfolio, go back and watch the old videos. Okay? My income was at $23,000 a year. And by me adding some of these, they were already there, but I just increased the amount of money that I had into them, right? To increase the income that was coming into my portfolio. And within the spare of 9 months, 10 months, we are here. What I went from being a nobody, well, I already was a nobody. Well, I went from being, managing, to now money is not an issue. Now it's building generational wealth for my family, for my daughters. And I come over here every day, make this video to motivate you guys. That's it. I ain't coming to brag. No. Some of the things I might say might sound braggadocious, but I'm not coming out here to brag. Okay? I share with you guys my downtime, my uptime. I share everything with you guys. Right? If my portfolio is doing bad, I share it. I don't like, oh, I'm gonna wait till my portfolio start doing good to make videos. No, my portfolio is down on this tracker, $130,000. But I'm not just looking at today or tomorrow. I'm looking for the future, 5, 10 years down the road, right? As I transition, right, from just investing in all of these extreme high yield to the mid and lower yield. And these guys, the extreme high yield and the high yield stuff, it's just going to keep money coming to my portfolio. Excuse me, guys. It's going to keep money coming to the portfolio and keep us moving. That's it. Nothing more. Nothing more. So you can take it how you want. And people all the time, oh, you can lose all your money. Okay. So I know how to make it. I'm learning as I go on what works best. And I know for sure my strategy works. Okay, I used to have a guy that used to make videos about me. I don't even know what happened to him anymore. I don't even know if he still makes videos about me. Because I blocked him because when he posted a video about me and I commented, he removed my comments. So if you're going to talk crap about somebody, but then when I respond, you remove my comments, then of course I'm going to block you from my channel. That's it. Now, maybe he can still see my videos. I don't care. I don't see his stuff. It doesn't matter to me. You know, I know I'm richer than he is. I'm better looking. Oh, my days. That's for sure. Better looking, better everything. You know, now that's braggadocious. That's bragging right there. Okay? I can take it to the bank, literally. But guys, all joke aside, invest in your future. This is not financial advice. I'm just sharing, okay? But invest in your future. Do what works for you. I talk to different people on a daily basis. Most guys will send me text messages and stuff like that, and I respond. Like I say, I don't charge people for, everything. When you take my time to sit on the phone and talk, then, of course, you're going to have to pay me. But for text messages, you got to respond when I'm available. If we're not friends, of course, you're going to have to pay me. For my time, of course. And I think it's only right. Now, if you don't want to talk to me, you just want to watch the content and avoid my mistakes, then you're okay. Do that. It works. Okay? It works. Guys, today is Sunday. I want you guys to have an amazing, amazing day. Okay? Like I said, the video from yesterday, we did $38,820.80. Now, of course, it probably more going to come. Not probably more is going to come because we have yesterday, today, the next 4 days, up until Thursday. So money's still going to be coming into the portfolio. Right? Money's still going to come into the portfolio. And we're still going to do the weekly pay, except it's going to be for next month. They're going to show up next month, even though it's going to be for this week. But they're going to show up payments at next month. Except for what we get paid on Thursday. I forgot. What we get paid on Thursday will still add up to that. So technically we're going to do over $40,000 because we might be able to do $1,200. I don't have enough in curve to be able to generate like $1,000 in a week. I don't think I'm there yet. So I would say, yeah, we might be able to get it up another $150 or so. But without the yield max, so most of my heavy stuff is in yield max. Without the yield max, we might not get to 40,000. But I will look at it and see. I mean, it doesn't really matter. The fact of the matter is, the money is going to the portfolio, right? But sometimes I just rack my brain on thinking about different things that other people don't think about. I think about things differently. If you guys haven't figured it out by now, okay, guys. So with that said, have an amazing Sunday. I'm taking my baby girl to the movies today. We're gonna go see Superman. if you want to see. So we're gonna go see Superman at sometime this evening, and I love you guys from the bottom of my heart, and I definitely do this for you guys. Financial independence is amazing, guys. You don't realize this until when you start looking at things differently. You know, when you go to the store and you go to buy something and you're not thinking about, man, do I have enough to cover this, or I have enough to cover that? You're not thinking about those things. You only think about, okay, I know I have this amount of money to spend because I track my spending. I know I have this amount of money to spend, and I spend it, and that's that. Right? And the next month, guess what? I got more coming next month. That is the amazing part. And this is passive. I'm not talking about your 9 to 5 where you work and go to job. No, I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about your passive income. Right? And the passive income is important because when you don't have a job, when you get laid off, right? I think I saw a video somewhere. It's about 300 women got laid off. Some black women got laid off. That is a lot of people, right? And if you're in a situation where you're depending on your partner or your wife, I don't like the word partner. I mean, if you go to 50-50, I guess you're a partner, then you're 50-50. But if I'm providing 80-20, we're not partners. That's for another day, another channel. But a lot of people don't have it. So can you imagine if your partner, wife, whatever, is bringing in maybe $2,000 a month to help with the bills? That's the 20%, and you bring in, the other, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 to cover that 80%, right? And for some reason she doesn't work anymore. Now, you don't know how important that is when you lose 20% of your income that you were depending on to make that 100%. I always say I'm 80-20. But my daughter mom don't spend, she don't work. I don't want her to work. I want her to stay home, take care of the house, take care of her other kids, take care of my kid, and take care of other kids on the way. Because I can. Because if she go to work, that's time away from her taking care of the kids, making sure they go to school, she go to the school meetings, to do all this stuff. She take care of my properties, okay? And she works for me. Technically, she works for me. So that's the life I want, and when I'm talking to my daughters, I mean, I tell them the same thing, but I don't think they listen to me because I'm just an old guy. I don't know nothing. But with time, everything is possible. Guys, it's been amazing talking to you guys today. My niece service is next week. So I'm going to do a video for Wednesday. And yeah, I'm going to do a video for Wednesday because I'll be in Houston. And that video probably going to be up probably sometime from between now and Wednesday. And I'm flying out on on Tuesday. So I might have to make 2 videos and have them sitting out there instead of making my normal video. Because when I get to Houston, it's going to be, by the time I get to the hotel, it's going to be 6 o'clock because of the time difference. So I would do my best to make a couple of videos and have it. And one of the videos I was going to do today, and I decided to do it for Wednesday, I think it's an amazing video, and it would do a lot to motivate people. Not only as far as from an income standpoint, but how things are possible. Anything is possible once you put your mind to it. Anything is possible. Okay, guys. With that said, wow, we're almost here for an hour. With that said, guys, I want you guys to have an amazing, amazing Sunday. Okay, I love you guys. Peace out.